Curated chapter. Stories worth knowing. Hand-selected voices. Fascinating people. Hidden stories with Sam Youmans.
Welcome to the new and improved version of our little podcast. We're calling it the Curated Chapter because it really is about authors. And we curate titles because we handpick selected works from independent authors. So let's get started. How many times have you died? I should probably rephrase that. Have you ever had a near-death experience? It doesn't have to be an official NDE involving angels and spirits of relatives long gone or anything like that. I'm talking about all the times you look back on your life and say, wow, I can't believe I made it through that. For me, there were 2 car accidents that should have killed me, but for some reason they didn't. And in both cases, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. In fact, one of the accidents was so bad, the car was completely totaled. When they found me, I was upside down in the car, unbuckled, staring at the dome light, wondering what in the world just happened. But somehow, I was okay. Was it divine intervention or just blind luck? Well, I guess that's open for debate. But when I saw the title of the book we're going to talk about today, Died 3 Times, Lived Once, it kind of got me thinking. Ruben Hernandez, who goes by the pen name Robert Garcia, has identified 3 moments when the Grim Reaper passed him by. Once when he was a child, once when he was sent overseas to fight in Vietnam, and once when addiction nearly destroyed his life. Here's Ruben.
I'm just a simple citizen, a veteran, Vietnam veteran. I'm an easygoing person, I've been told.
I would add humble, faith-driven, and honest as well. His book tells the story of a man who believes those moments that nearly took his life were not accidents at all. They were interventions.
I got into a deathly experience at 7.
He's talking about the time he survived a tragic truck accident, only to grow up and eventually be sent to Vietnam.
People shot around me and they died, and the same bullets coming at me, and I didn't get shot. Why? I don't know. I'll never understand that. Only God does.
Many of us experienced the Vietnam War through movies, documentaries, and hearsay. Mr. Hernandez was actually there. He was sent to Vietnam during one of the most turbulent periods in American history, and experiences like that, well, they have a way of leaving permanent questions behind, especially if you're one of the survivors.
I didn't get shot. Why? I don't know. Trying to get up from during the battle, and I couldn't get up until decades later I started thinking it had to be an angel holding me down.
For Ruben, survival in Vietnam left him with some questions that many veterans carry with them for the rest of their lives. Why did I survive when others didn't? Well, this was the second time in his life he had faced death and walked away. But war would not be the last time Ruben found himself standing at the edge.
Then my last one, my third one, oh my God, I fell. I fell deep.
Years after returning from Vietnam, Ruben began working as a correctional officer in Riverside County, California.
I made a big mistake, and I lost it. I wasn't fired. They gave me a chance to come back, and I didn't do it like I was supposed to.
He was responsible for watching over people who had lost their way, but temptation has a way of grabbing a hold of us and taking control of our lives. What began as experimentation or recreational drug use slowly turned into addiction. And addiction has a way of destroying everything.
Don't do what I did. Even if you're a veteran or you want to experience drugs, don't try it, because you'll fall. You'll fall deeply. And I did. I became a drug addict under cocaine. Lost everything. I started losing my vehicles. I started using heavily, and I wasn't caught yet, and I was working for the Riverside County Sheriff. There's not many out there that can say they were in front of the bars and ended up behind the bars, and I was one of them. I took life for granted. We should never do that.
Many addicts will tell you that before recovery can begin, you often have to hit rock bottom. For Ruben, that moment came when he realized that he had lost the things that mattered most.
Like I say, I lost everything. I thought I lost my daughters, my wife, And I didn't care. You lose your dignity, you lose responsibility, and you lose everything. The point I'm trying to make, you don't care.
But sometimes the turning point in a life comes down to a single moment, a few words, something that shakes you to the core and forces you to see things differently.
I was 8 years in and out of jail. The very last time they sent me to a rehab in San Pedro, California, and I couldn't believe I made it that far. The judge started telling me at my last court, "You're doing wonderful, Hernandez. Keep it going." She didn't like me at all. And I started thinking, something has got to change. He says, you either change or you go to prison for 3 years. Now that scared me.
That moment forced Ruben Hernandez to make a decision. He entered rehab and he began leaning more deeply into his faith.
I started going to church while incarcerated. The people that have been in and out of prison, they tell me, "Oh, you can smuggle all the drugs you want. You want to go." I could feel Satan was behind that.
As you may have guessed, this story does have a happy ending. Now, at 78, Ruben has lived through some of life's darkest chapters and survived them with a new perspective. He is clean, happily remarried, and passionate about sharing his story to help others.
There's a reason for everything that happens. And whether people believe it or not, it's all because of God's will and reasoning.
If Mr. Hernandez has learned anything from the life he describes in Died 3 Times, Lived Once, it's this: live in the positive, follow God's will, and no matter who you are, stand your ground, because sometimes the greatest story a person can tell is what they choose to do after they survive. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Curated Chapter, formerly Newsgram, on webtalkradio.com.
The Curated Chapter. Stories worth knowing. Stories worth knowing. Hand-selected voices. Voices. Fascinating people, hidden stories.